Today is the 20th of June 2021. We're heading off on our trip from Rutherglen up to Darwin and then back down the west coast to Perth. In stage 1 we'll be exploring Coober Pedy, Uluru, Kings Canyon and Alice Springs. Hey Flip, what happened today?
We had a bit of an incident with the Anderson plate. Jumped out of the socket. Or maybe I didn't put it in properly.
Maybe. We're rolling out of Mildura at 6 o'clock this morning, heading to Port Augusta to get our COVID tests, and then to the Uluru rest area until we get our results. Watching the trains should keep the boys busy until we get our results. We're on day 3 of our trip now. Day 1 we went from Rutherglen to Mildura, and then Mildura to Port Augusta where we had our COVID test, which had come back negative this morning. So we stayed at Uluru rest area last night. I don't think Mum got much sleep with the trains and the bus, but anyway, we don't have to drive with her today, so that's okay. We did come across an emu yesterday. Do you have some advice for anybody who comes across a super chook?
You don't toot your car horn at a super chook.
And what happens if you toot your car horn?
Well, I'm not assuming it happens to all super chooks, but it just squatted and sat in the middle of the road. No hurry.
So we've learned that lesson and we won't be doing that again. So today we're moving on to Coober Pedy. We got within 40 kilometres of Coober Pedy and it started to rain. And of course, it was when we'd almost run out of fuel, thanks to the new fuel lab. And they didn't get a little bit of rain, they got 10% of their annual rainfall. We finally arrived in Coober Pedy and we're here for 2 nights to explore what this underground town is all about. The boys did a bit of noodling at the caravan park and have found about 7 opals, so they're happy. We headed out to the famous breakaways for sunset. After 12 months of waiting, we've finally crossed over into the Northern Territory. And we've laid our eyes on Uluru. Today we met up with Betty in Uluru. She's an Indigenous woman who taught us some of the symbols for the artworks that the Indigenous people paint. Then we had to get hard to work to create our own. After doing our painting with Betty, we headed out to have a look at Cartatuja, which is better known as the Olgas, and we did the Walper Gorge walk. After the gorge walk, we drove out to watch the sunset at Uluru. We got on the bus at 5:30 this morning to go out and see the Field of Lights and watch the sunrise near Uluru. Luke was not happy about the cold in the early mornings, so he spent his mornings sitting under the heater. Wasn't really the best weather for drying clothes either. After we had breakfast, we headed out to Uluru to do the base walk. We were sad to say goodbye to Uluru this morning. How are you feeling about leaving Uluru?
Sad.
Why sad?
Because I don't want to leave. I like throwing in the sand and walking around Uluru.
It's pretty magic, isn't it? Good place. What about you, Lou? Yeah, good chat. Today we've landed at the Kings Canyon Resort, and already we've seen some wild dingoes and the most amazing sunset. Today we're doing the Kings Canyon Rim Walk. The walk's about 6 kilometres, and don't let the first part fool you. It's a 500 step climb, but then after that it's all smooth sailing from there. Although there is lots of steep drop-offs, so you do have to be a little bit careful.
It's like limestone. It's like green.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Halfway up the stairs, Nan was holding on to me. We've learned that if you keep them fed, they'll walk for hours. If you're going to walk all that way, make sure you add the Garden of Eden onto your trip. Yesterday morning we headed off from Kings Canyon to where we thought we were heading to Alice Springs. 10 k's out of Alice Springs we realised they were in lockdown as of 1 o'clock that afternoon. By the time we got there it was about 1:30. So the police met us on the way in and we had two choices. We either had to get food and fuel and we could keep heading north, or we could go to the caravan park that we had booked in Alice, which I was so excited about because I needed to wash my hair and have a bit of Christy time, but anyhow, we didn't end up there. So, yeah, because we could have been locked in for 3 days and it could have turned into who knows how many days. So we decided the best option would be to just grab food and fuel and continue heading north. So we stayed about 30 k's out of Alice Springs in a free camp last night. Mum and Dad ran out of power. Today we're heading to Devil's Marbles to have a quick look there, and then we've got to restock our water or we're going to run out. And we have to empty our toilet.
You're emptying it.
I'm not emptying the toilet. I'll help fill the water. That's as far as my duties go. We're not sure where we're staying tonight. We're going to free camp again somewhere along the road, and then tomorrow we're going to try and get to Mataranka. So that's the plan at this stage. Our next part of our journey will be stage 2, and that'll be Alice Springs to Darwin. We quickly stop in at the Devil's Marbles and Daly Waters, and then we explore Mataranka and the Kakadu National Park. See you all soon for stage 2.